All right, folks, get ready to fast 10 your seatbelts. God, that's corny. No wonder they didn't use it. We're talking Fast and the Furious 10.
X.
Oh, man.
That was awesome!
Welcome, everybody, to the Salty Nerd Podcast. Today, we are talking about the newest film that we all saw, Fast 10, starring everybody on the planet. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Jude is here. What's up, Jude? How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Are you? After that? All
Yeah.
right, cool. Right on.
I had a great time.
I'm glad you did. And the hardest working nerd on the planet, Matt the Caters, is also here.
You know, I've seen every single Fast and Furious movie, and even I have questions about this.
Yeah.
And our stunt cock for today, Tom, is here. What's up, brother?
I want to make it clear that everybody from this podcast asked me to watch this movie, and it wasn't until Alex said he's going to pay me to go see it that I was like, all right.
He's like, Tom, I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, bro, I need you to watch Fast 10. And he's like, I've never seen any of them. I'm like, I'll pay for your ticket. He's like, fine.
And Matt Vader just flat out refused.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not
I don't
doing
blame
it.
him.
I don't
blame him for refusing for that. It was.
He's like, I got better things to do.
He does. I mean, that's a legitimate reason.
He's all about his actual family. I give you a lot of credit, Tom, because you've never seen any of these. You went in on the 10th installment, and you're here to talk about it.
It's fantastic. That's why we call you our stunt cock.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Just act like you're into it, buddy.
That's here for y'all.
Slap you on the ass and get you in the theater.
Oh, it's
Perfect.
not queer or nothing. That movie was really good.
I don't know if I'm queer or nothing, but Jason Momoa was doing something in this movie.
I don't know what Jason.
I don't know what he was doing.
Can we
either.
get into this? Because I have
I
so
would
many.
love to. I'd love to.
It's ridiculous.
All right.
Are you ready
Jude,
for my synopsis?
I would love to hear your synopsis, please.
Hold on.
I would-
Okay.
Buckle up for this one, guys.
2023, Fast 10. Baba Voss has a real boner for revenge. He's determined to make Riddick suffer, and he's targeting his whole family. Uncle Peacemaker and Little B jump in the Ecto-1 and head down to Porkajol to do something. I forget what. Uncle John Cena kills like a lot of agents and fires blindly into crowds of civilians, but it's probably fine because this movie teaches us no one ever really dies in the Fast universe, and I can't wait for the Paul Walker hologram in the next movie. Also, Letty and Cypher are trapped in Antarctica and have to make their way back to Dom 1/4 mile at a time. Discuss.
You know what's funny is like, you know, when you say like no one ever dies, even people who actually die don't die in this movie.
Yeah.
Because Paul Walker's character is still alive in the movie.
And
What?
That was my question. Yeah, so Paul Walker died in real life, unfortunately. It was a terrible accident. But his character in the movie just kind of like rode off into the sunset.
Paul Walker's still alive. He works at Ace Hardware in Montana. I swear to God.
Tom.
They dyed his hair black. You would never
But
recognize
like
him.
with today, I mean, they even did it in whichever one that was a Fast 9 or Fast 8, where they did like the send off. They had his brother sit in the car, and then they just CGI'd Paul Walker's face. They could technically still do that for a whole movie.
Yeah.
like he could make a.
they're
comeback.
going to.
You think so?
They went to space in a car.
I like that one better though.
I did too.
Fast 9 was
I
so superior.
loved that
Fast
one.
9, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Fast 9 is probably my favorite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. So I think what happened, and this is my
Don't you
theory.
shake your head at me.
This is my theory. This is my theory. Well, he hasn't seen Fast 9.
I'm just absorbing the information that there was a good one. Oh, there was a good one.
Tokyo Drift wasn't bad.
Oh,
Fascinating.
Tokyo Drift sucks.
No, it wasn't bad. I like
Okay.
that. Anyway, so for Fast 9, I went with my best friend Justin. We went and sat down, and we died laughing. It was so enjoyable to sit there and just laugh at the ludicrousness.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Whoa.
Ludacris.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
No pun intended. I don't know.
Kinda? I don't know. So like that happened. We laughed the entire show. We were like, that was freaking so funny. And they were self-aware enough in that movie that the tone matched the ridiculousness of the movie, and it felt like everything kind of came together. Like, oh, they know what they're doing now.
Yeah.
And in this one, the tone was so serious,
Yeah.
but everything else around it was so ridiculous.
Everybody was serious except for Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa was having the best
the
time.
best. Yeah, he was painting his fingernails, doing all kinds of crazy things.
He's talking to dead people.
That was a funny scene. That was comical.
Drink your margarita. I'm gonna have somebody come bury you in a minute.
The fly is on his eyes, like crawling around. I'm like, this is freaking hilarious.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like that part?
No.
I didn't like Jason Momoa's character.
No. It doesn't make any sense.
It's dumb. I didn't like his like pseudo homoerotic thing that he was doing.
No, it was like a faux Joker.
Yes,
it was like a faux Joker the whole time.
Yeah,
and I think he dressed himself. I think
probably
those were literally just his clothes.
Oh my god, the matchy with the car.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Lavender baby.
There was a scene where like his outfit matched the color of his car.
Yes. Yeah. Well,
he had a purple scrunchie,
and he was wearing loafers and sandals.
I mean, do you guys remember from
just like a genie half the time?
Yeah, from season 2, he had a pink samurai outfit.
Yeah.
So I
His
mean,
favorite
this
color's
is
pink.
This is Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I hate. Can I be very clear on how much I hate Jason Momoa? I hate Jason Momoa more than any other actor. I mean,
why?
Because he's Jason Momoa. He's done nothing good ever.
How is that any different
Khal
from like
Drogo,
The Rock?
20 years ago, is the only thing he ever did good.
Excuse you, sir. Stargate Atlantis was very good.
Who was he in Stargate Atlantis?
He was Ronin.
Who is what?
He's the dreadlocked wearing
I didn't see
kind of
that.
like Klingon-esque character.
Came in season 2.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking about cinema,
He was excellent.
not television. Okay, we're talking about cinema.
I
Oh,
disagree.
you just mentioned Game of Thrones. So.
But that's the only time he was cool. The other time he's awful in everything. I just feel like he's the kind of guy that shows up in those same clothes and barefoot to a restaurant.
Yes.
And he's just like
Have you not seen the
eating,
behind the scenes?
eating raw
Dude,
beef
bro,
with his hands.
bro.
And you're just like, what is this guy doing? And he's like, I'm fucking wasted. And you're like, okay.
So have you not seen the behind the scenes from the Fast 10 movies? Like
I haven't seen any of the
like
Fast movies. Why would I see the behind the
they're on
scenes?
Instagram and stuff. Anyway, what I'm trying to the
What do you
point
think
is
I look at it? I don't even have Instagram.
yeah, you're on Facebook. You shut the hell up. They're the same thing.
I only have Facebook to comment on my friends. That's
Sure.
it.
Anyway,
No
there's
more ass
there's
shaking for me.
there's videos of Jason Momoa walking around in like a traditional Hawaiian like assless chap thing on set. Just be like, hey guys, what's up? I'm freaking Jason Momoa.
That's why I hate him.
That's him.
That's why I
This
hate
is
him.
who he is.
And that's why I hate him.
Okay.
I hate him for who he is. That's it.
So, but in this movie,
It's like George Clooney. I really hate him, but no matter what, I can't hate him because he's just so damn charming. Momoa is not charming.
you don't think the gay Joker in this movie was good at all? No point in time where you were like, okay, I see what they're doing.
I'd say he's
Yeah.
more metrosexual Joker.
No, he was
Sure.
just. I'm not putting his.
Don't
his,
know why it has to be gay.
Yeah,
he's just very flamboyant.
His sexual orientation never came to mind, even once. I think he's asexual. He doesn't even do sex. He just does. At not one point did I think he was intelligent. And he's got this like giant worldwide global scheme going on.
no.
And he is obviously an idiot.
The movie doesn't make any sense.
The only
No.
reason it worked because he stole a hard drive from Charlize Theron.
Well, you know what's funny is that so
Yeah, he knew all. I hated this movie.
yeah, we got that. Momoa's character. So like Momoa's been on record as saying like that this is his favorite performance, and it really just seems like
guarantee that.
he knew that the movie was ridiculous, and so he was just like fuck it, I'm just gonna have fun.
yeah, it seems like they were like, all right, Jason, just go out there and do whatever. And he was like, great.
Yeah, but the thing is that every time he was on screen, and he was doing like the jokey like kind of quasi Eisenberg / Ledger performance with like the villain.
Yeah.
the Lex Luthor thing.
The
okay.
Lex Luthor meets the Joker type thing.
Yeah.
Every time he was doing that, it took me out of the movie. And then when he would get serious and he'd actually like
Be a
like
villain?
be a villain.
Yeah.
Then like I was back in the movie, and so like every time he would come on screen, he would always start off with like the kind of jokey, like Luthor Joker type performance. And I'd just be there. I was like, man, this is bad. And then like he'd get like all serious and be like, ooh, this is
Yeah, it's
good.
like every time he was on screen, it would progress from like he's just goofing around being a weirdo to then Dom shows up and like throws a wrench, pun intended, into his plans. And after that happens, then he becomes serious villain Joker. And I'm like, oh, I like that part. I completely agree with you because there's like a switch halfway through where he stops joking and he's actually intimidating and kind of cool to watch. Like there's that one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when they went back to the drag racing thing. They went to Rio de Janeiro or whatever, and they were doing a drag race.
And everybody just shows up in Rio with a car.
With a car. Like, just who cares how much it costs to ship that thing? Maybe he's just got it in a garage there anyway. But he shows up, and they're doing the whole drag race thing. That was my favorite part of the movie because I feel like it was Fast and the Furious. Like, that's what I wanted to watch. So there was a little bit of that in this part, and I really liked it. But that he was the jokey kind of weird character that he's playing for the first half of that, and then once they get on the racetrack, then he's like "Oh, watch this," and he's flipping buttons on people's cars with bombs, and I'm like, "See, that's a cool villain. Like, yeah, I get it." And no setup whatsoever. I have no idea how the bombs got there. I don't know how he rigged it to his car. Like, there's no explanation for anything in this movie.
Correct.
So don't go in looking for a story. It's a slaction movie to a T.
Like you're wondering where the cars came from?
Oh my
I'm
God.
wondering where the airplanes kept coming from. They kept
Dude.
transporting these planes all over the world.
Yeah.
And who was flying them?
I don't know. I asked that question 3 times.
It's like when that one
When
chick,
Jack Reacher landed by himself in the plane, I said, who the hell's flying that plane? He's just sitting at a desk in the back, and he's like playing Minesweeper. And he's like, and we landed. Thank you.
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, that guy. So funny enough, so Jason Momoa, you know, he plays Aquaman.
Right.
But the actor who plays Jack Reacher, who's also in this movie, he played Aquaman in Smallville.
Is that the same dude?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the same dude.
Oh, wow.
Blue Mountain State. He's in a whole bunch
yeah.
of. He's like a kind of quasi bad guy and everything.
The only thing
I
his
still think
character-
Tom Cruise is Jack Reacher.
No, God, no. This guy's
Amazon's Jack Reacher.
Amazon's
Yeah.
back. Yeah, it was way better than Tom.
He was
Cruise.
Hoss though. I mean,
He was fine. He was fine.
yeah, he was.
I had
Okay.
a
He was
que-
actually one of the better parts of the movie.
Sure. I mean, that scene between him and Brie Larson was a pill to watch.
Every
Like, it was
scene with Brie
God.
Larson was
boy,
so
pretty wild.
bad.
boy.
Took me
When
out
they-
of the movie
they-
every time she was on
they
screen.
were-
And then that scene where she meets Michelle Rodriguez, and Michelle Rodriguez is like,
Game
game
recognizes-
recognizes game.
Oh God!
I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
so bad. But listen, that scene where so we have to set this up a little bit. So
Who wrote this?
who knows? AI wrote this
I would
movie.
believe. I would 100% believe that you put all the original movies.
Yes,
and then
and then
and
AI.
write it from a 12-year-old boy's perspective who has not hit puberty yet.
Listen.
and write the next movie.
Here's my theory. This is my theory. It's gonna be like a Lego movie moment. Okay. Here's my theory with the entire Fast and Furious universe. It's all
About family.
It's all a dream from a 12-year-old boy with a box set of Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah.
And he's just in his mind
And
playing
action
out these
figures. He has
scenarios.
action
And
figures. Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the whole movie.
That's
And
the
then
whole
on the finale and the third trilogy of the finale of these movies, it's gonna flash to Dom's kid playing with a bunch of Matchbox cars, and Dom is still in the garage with like a shitty car wrenching it on, and his kid's like, "This is what I imagined."
He's got a
in life."
belly.
Yes, yeah, he's fat.
And an ankle monitor because
Yes.
he's still into
Yes.
crime.
The Homer Simpson comb over.
Yeah,
Just
the whole thing is just his kid's dream about what his dad is actually doing
his
when he's
dad's
gone.
friends and how cool they are.
Yes, that's my theory.
Wow.
Anyway, it's
Wow.
It's a good theory.
Uncle
huh?
Paul Walker's out there
Sure,
too.
sure, and they're all got beer guts.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
yeah, no one's sexy.
No.
No.
Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, okay. So we have to set up the Jack Reacher, Brie Larson
Wait.
thing.
Okay, so before we set up the Jack Reacher thing.
Okay.
So basically, this movie retcons Fast and Furious 5. It starts off with like a flashback where basically Dom and Paul Walker's character steal a safe
Yeah, that's
out
from
of
the
the
movie.
vault. So like that's from Fast and Furious 5. The main villain in that movie ends up getting killed, and then like Jason Momoa is his son, who wants to get revenge on the family that killed his family, even though like Paul Walker's just as responsible as Vin Diesel.
He waited 5 movies to get his revenge.
And if
Exactly.
you wait till the end credit scene, it wasn't Dom at all.
Well,
Wait, you waited?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I left
Oh,
immediately.
you didn't see the end credit scene?
No.
Oh.
so there was a mid-credit scene. Is there another one after that?
What? I saw a credit scene.
You stayed through both credit
No,
scenes?
I saw one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we all saw the same.
Okay, good.
credit
Okay.
scene. But basically, this movie kind of continues with like the Fast and Furious formula, where basically every new villain that's introduced wants revenge for something that happened in a previous movie. And so, like this one, it's in Fast 9, Dom's long lost brother, played by John Cena, was the bad guy.
Uncle Peacemaker.
Yes, Uncle Peacemaker.
That sounds right. Uncle Peacemaker is
Yeah,
accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now he's a good guy. And oddly enough, like all of Fast and Furious's like main villains have become good guys. by this
Cypher.
point. Yeah.
Cypher's on board with them
They
now.
have a
Hobbs, yeah.
beer at the barbecue and they become
That's
family.
the
They
whole thing.
explained it.
Yeah. So, but
a
Momoa,
cult.
yeah, Momoa refuses to go to the barbecue, and therefore he wants to get revenge. And so this movie,
He
basically,
hates what is it, Dos Equis that they
No,
that they
it's
drink?
it's Corona.
Corona, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, this movie picks up with Jason Momoa hitting Cypher, played by Charlize Theron, who was kind of like the head bad guy for like the last couple films. And she goes to Dom for help, and that sets into motion a series of events where basically Momoa is revealed to be the bad guy, and Dom has to go and save his family, who's out in Rome doing a rogue operation that turns out was like a big setup, and hilarity ensues, basically.
Yeah.
So Brie Larson plays the daughter of Kurt Russell, who was like the leader of the agency.
Mr. Nobody.
Mr.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Okay,
She's-
that's who Mr. Nobody is.
she's-
Okay.
Young nobody lady.
Yes. And Jack Reacher plays the new head of the agency, and she's like just working her way up the ladder.
And what's weird is that, so Scott Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's son, plays Little Nobody, who was like Mr. Nobody's like right-hand man. And he's at the beginning of this movie, and he jumps out of his car in Rome, and we never see him again.
That's true. He never came back.
Like, he's the guy who could come to like the council and be like, hey, we were set up, Dom's innocent, but instead he just kind of like fucks off in Rome. And he's just like,
Don't
I'm
think
done.
about it too
I'm
much.
done.
I didn't
Don't
even
think about
think
it too
about
much. We have to get to Gal Gadot.
Okay. Oh my God. On the freaking nuclear sub for some reason.
Spoiler.
Oh, if you didn't know, there's gonna be some spoilers.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Fair.
No one's ever really gone in the Fast and Furious franchise.
It's a fact.
Well, my least favorite scene in this movie was watching Jack Reacher, who the actor's fine as Jack Reacher because he's quiet and stoic and he doesn't have that many lines because the actor's not that good. And then Brie Larson, who's not that good of an actor, but everybody wants her to be a really good actor. The two put in a scene by themselves surrounded by blue screen is awful. They're reading lines like literally off of a tablet behind the other actor, and you can see their eyes moving. And I'm like, Jesus, this is so bad. That was the worst scene in the show. Like
Well,
that
the
was
funniest
so bad.
scene was when Brie Larson, she goes into like a bar to find Dominic,
Oh.
and she picks a bar fight, and the bartender
oh
just
my
out of nowhere
Throws her a shot.
throws her a shot. Like he's on her side, and she never met her before, and she's like, thanks, random bartender. I'll have 2 beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that. shit.
after
Yeah.
she kicks the ass of like 12 guys, like twice her size.
She's like, I'm looking for somebody, as if she doesn't know where he is. And then when she finally looks over, and Dom's just there sipping on a beer in plain sight, not hidden at all. And she walks over, she's like, I was told I could find you here. What? Why did you ask the bartender then?
Yeah. Why didn't you just walk in
And
and then
look.
go over to him?
You had to fight 4 guys.
She had to street cred.
Yeah,
Street
she had,
cred.
she had to establish dominance.
Yeah, I mean,
Game recognizes game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she picked the fight, right? Like
Right.
she walks in and she did stuff to like instigate a
Yeah,
fight,
Yeah.
just so the
great.
bartender could help her out.
You know what? Honestly, I feel that's exactly what Brie Larson would do. Probably. That's a total Brie Larson move. Just walks in, slaps the shit out of somebody, breaks a bottle over someone's head, and goes, I'm looking for... Oh, there he is. There. Thank you.
2 beers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck the patriarchy.
Hey, Utah,
Like,
give me 2.
Yeah.
When
Exactly.
are we gonna have
Utah.
Keanu? Yeah, when's Keanu Reeves gonna show up in one of these movies? That's what I want to know.
That sucks. Don't do that to us. like 'cause they have
Everybody
like, okay,
else is in
so
this
there's
movie.
like, yeah, but it's nobody good. It's like
all B-level
It's all
actors.
B and C level. I mean,
Yeah.
Ludacris isn't even an actor. Tyrese isn't an actor.
These are the only movies those guys are in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The only
yeah,
movies.
and they gave him a lot of money for
Oh,
it.
sure,
Listen,
yeah.
Ludacris goes in on the first because he's never been defeated and he won't stop now.
Okay, fair enough. Did he come from
Man.
Tokyo Drift, or was he in the second one? Tyrese was in the second one.
No, they were so Ludacris was Too
Is it
Fast, Too
Tyrese?
Furious, as
Tyrese.
was Tyrese. Yes,
Okay, yeah.
Too
both in the-
Fast, Too Furious.
they're in the second one.
Can we get like a serial killer board and just start putting strings and connecting all the dots?
Yeah, yeah.
And make this movie make sense to
No.
me? Can we do that?
It will
Is
never
this
make sense.
possible?
After the nuclear explosion happened in Rome, I turned to Jude in the theater and I said, "This is getting a little bit too furious for me."
Yeah, that
Wow.
was- hey,
He needed to be held.
so I have 2 legitimate questions.
Okay.
Okay.
One,
Oh, this guy texts me yesterday and he goes, I have so many questions.
Oh, Jesus.
And I thought we were talking about something else. I was like, oh, Mrs. Davis, because the finale. And he was like, no, Fast and the Furious. I was like, oh, do you need to ask them to me today or do you want to talk about them tomorrow? And he's like, I don't even know how to put them into format.
So, speak your piece.
yes.
is the agency bad guys?
So the agency run like Mr. Nobody's agency.
It's like
right?
Black Ops.
For who?
Well, okay, so nobody knows, right? They're supposedly like gray area. So like sometimes they do good stuff, and sometimes they do bad stuff. But when they do bad stuff, they're doing it for a good reason.
I'm good agency and I'm bad agency.
So whoever's in charge everybody is either good guys now or bad guys now?
It depends on the plot.
Because they killed a lot of agency
Right.
people.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say the good guys killed more good guys than the bad guys killed good
listen,
guys.
Yes.
dude, listen. Nobody dies.
No.
This movie's PG because nobody dies.
I saw
remember the guy-
Jason Statham put a machine gun to a guy's neck
He's fine.
and just blow his head
He's
off.
fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
There was heads removed
Listen,
in this.
dude. Do you guys remember the scene where there was a man inside of a punching bag?
Can we not talk about that till later? Because I want to really savor that. I was really, I really,
save it. We can
I want
save
to
it.
build up to that
can save it.
because you just fucked that whole joke up. Because it didn't. What the?
Nobody died.
What was it? What was happening in there? Was that a gay sex thing?
I don't know.
No, that was not a gay sex.
Are
thing.
you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure because
Because I've seen Ted 1.
Shaw-
And
Shaw-
apparently what gay guys do is they get beat up by other gay guys, and that's like a thing.
Shaw
And so
isn't
was-
gay. Shaw isn't gay.
I didn't call him gay.
No. So it's not a gay thing.
Yeah, but maybe
it was
he's
a
being-
torture thing.
Maybe he's
Nothing
being
gay about
paid.
getting your dick sucked.
Maybe he's being paid to beat that guy up.
Because of gay stuff, right?
Sure, yeah, maybe.
Like, what was happening there?
But I don't know. But my point
And then
was,
he came out with 4 teeth
So-
and tidy whities and
So-
just ran out.
so
And
that-
everyone's like,
that scene is a reference to an after credit scene in a previous movie.
oh Jesus, I had no idea.
wow, I didn't realize that this is so layered. Matt, please explain to me this scene.
We're talking about cinema.
Yeah, I know now.
Film.
Yeah, well, I mean, the character of Shaw, right, played by Jason Statham, he was like a main villain for like 2-3 movies. He
Yeah.
got his own spin-off with The Rock, Hobbs and Shaw, and I believe it might have been the last movie or the movie before last, but so like he's been absent from the films for like 1 or 2 movies ever since the spin-off. And there was an after credit scene on one of the movies that just showed Shaw, doing that punching bag thing. And they just took that scene and put it in this movie and expanded upon it. So like that was pretty
Just a
much
little bit.
Wow, well, there it is.
That's the layer.
Yeah, done. Man.
Yeah, but to answer your question, the agency is this kind of like nebulous, like it doesn't really work for anyone, but like it's kind of like on its own thing.
So what you're saying is there is no answer.
Yes.
Correct. So
Okay.
like they're kind of just there to serve the plot. Like the Fast and Furious movies went from like a street crime series to a ridiculous James Bond style superhero with cars franchise.
Oh, no, don't worry. They spent exactly 30 seconds explaining the entire story. These guys just used to be fun, old-fashioned
Yeah.
street racers, and then they got into high-speed heists. And now they're in space.
Now they're international. Yeah.
And you're like, at what point? Wait.
And what? Okay.
Did he use 2 helicopters to kill 2
Yes.
helicopters and then hit a bunch of guys off a bridge and then use the other helicopter to hit the other car and then free his son at the exact same time?
Yes. Listen.
Love it.
12-year-olds.
I love you guys are y'all just staring at me and be like, yeah.
No, and
12-year-olds' imagination with a box of Matchbox
Yeah.
of Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels cars. That's what's happening.
You know the part of that scene that really irked me? It wasn't Brie Larson and Jack Reacher talking with one another. It was the fact that they were showing clips from previous movies.
Yeah.
Like
That's
the
so
Like
lazy.
the agency had cameras there to catch those exact shots.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
There's scenes from the movie,
Oh,
and they
boy.
were like, "Remember these movies? They were real."
Yeah,
It's an 8-year-old's daydream about his dad.
it really
I'm
is.
sticking to it.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole theory is that it's like
The first movie
it's
is
like
legit.
a young Michael Bay wrote these. Like,
Yes.
like a very young Michael Bay.
Yes, I like that.
And maybe a young Christopher Nolan to help him a little bit.
Sure.
But because neither one of them make movies that make a lot of sense, but Nolan makes it believable.
My favorite physics breaking moment in this movie
There's a
is when Dom is chasing the giant ball from Indiana Jones down the streets of Rome.
The physics were impressive on
Okay,
this one,
listen,
yeah.
dude, this was incredible. So like the whole time they're using cars, gravity doesn't exist, and cars weigh 5,000 pounds and not, whatever.
Sure.
He's going down the
Because
streets of
cars
Rome.
are the answer.
Yes,
Yeah,
cars.
cars are heavier than 2 helicopters.
This is true, and they have their own gravity system. Anyway, so he's chasing this ball down this bridge, and everybody's like, "You're not gonna make it, Dom. Turn around." And he's like, "I don't believe in failure." And he shifts into the 18th gear.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he goes off a ramp, hits the ball. What does he?
No,
Yeah,
he hits a crane.
He hits a crane. He ramps
Oh,
off.
yeah. And he swings
Hits the
around.
crane. The crane swings, hits the ball, and the ball goes into the water. And he just, instead of smashing into the concrete and going into the water, he moves the crane out of the way
Yep.
and lands his car and drives away.
Of course.
That at that moment I was
And
like,
outruns the blast.
yes.
Everyone else literally
Dies.
incinerates.
Because it's not about the car, it's about the driver
Exactly.
of the car.
Yeah, the big ball is actually like a neutron bomb, and so in order to save Rome and the Vatican, they have to shove it into the water
By the
in order
way,
to mute the explosion.
Rome is fucked.
Oh, yeah, it's
anyway,
dead. Yeah.
it's fucked anyway.
Big hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of your foundations need to be rebuilt.
I also love the moment where something explodes, the gas station explodes, and he's like, I have to save the people at the cafe. And he ramps his car up and knocks the partition down so that the flames bounce off of the cafe, and everybody's still in there going, "Oh my God, what has just happened?" I don't know why that was French. They're in Rome. They're not. I don't know how to do a Roman accent.
It felt like France, though, didn't it?
Buongiorno!
Buongiorno.
Pasta vazul!
I blow my nose in your general direction.
Merci beaucoup, Dom Toretto.
Bread!
I think this movie was 2.5 hours. I
Yes.
believe we could talk for 8 straight hours about this movie.
It's completely ridiculous.
It's wild.
But they've been that way for a while. My problem with this one is why, and we talked about a little bit about it. Fast 9 knew it was stupid,
Yeah.
and it had so much fun being
It was
dumb.
just fun.
This one takes itself, tone-wise, it takes itself too seriously.
So there's a reason for that.
Okay.
Okay, so
Is it the trilogy?
no, it's not the
Okay.
trilogy. So basically, Justin Lin, who had directed some of the best Fast and Furious movies, he did 5, 6, I think he did 9. So Justin Lin has been kind of the guy who resuscitated the Fast and Furious franchise. He made it more about the characters, more about the family, but he also made it more and more
All
ridiculous.
about the family,
Yes.
first of all.
Yes, but he's the one who kind of brought it to new heights of ridiculousness, and basically he was the one who set the tone for like Fast 9, because Fast 9 was very self-aware. They were like, we're going to go to space, we don't give a fuck,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like
That was
that.
the best part of it.
I know, it was
So
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
So Justin Lin was supposed to direct this movie. And when they started production, he had some type of beef with Vin Diesel, and Justin Lin decided to quit the movie.
Oh no.
You telling me Vin Diesel's not that cool?
He has beefs with a lot of people, apparently.
beef
But
with Rock, too, doesn't
so Justin Lin quit, and so the studio had to scramble to find a new director for this movie. And the director that they settled on is Luc Besson's protege, a director named Louis Leterrier. He's the guy who directed the Transporter films.
Oh, okay.
And
that explains it.
And so this director, when he came on board, he was like, you know what I want to do? He's French.
Oh.
You know what I want to do?
It's a perfect Roman accent, by the way.
I want to have a cafe and a wine.
Yeah, he's like, I want to make this movie more grounded and realistic.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, nailed it.
Give me a break, man.
and so it was his take on trying to ground the material that made this movie so tonally weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the problem.
Wait.
That's the problem.
You were implying that this movie was poorly done because they were trying to make it too realistic?
In tone.
The director wanted a more grounded, realistic take on the
So that people
material.
could
You know-
relate to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, I did get that vibe, that it was very taken seriously, and
Yeah.
this was very accurate to reality.
but-
I got that vibe the entire time.
If I had a dime for every time I've chased a bomb down the streets
Yeah.
of Rome.
Okay, real question. Who put that bomb in that truck?
the AI
Momoa?
generator.
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Exactly. There's no answer to that question.
No, there's no. There's a lot of questions that don't have answers.
But
in
that's
this
a
movie.
big one.
Those two were driving that truck the whole time and didn't realize there was a bomb in it.
Or did they?
No, the truck was being. Oh no, that's right. The two
Because
drivers.
then when they got back there, they were like, "Oh shit, there's a bomb in here."
Yeah.
It's the whole size of the truck.
Yeah, it's
You
giant.
didn't notice it?
It was the Dark Knight Rises neutron
Oh,
bomb in the back of the
yeah.
truck. It's the exact same
Yeah, I
thing.
hated that.
But
movie.
at least they knew there was a neutron bomb in there. We know who put it there.
Yeah. Well, I love the fact that like they have this super duper armored truck and they have to have this little RC race car to shoot gas into the ventilation system to knock the drivers out so that they can then climb on the side and just open the cab.
It's not just an RC race car. It's an RC race car with a bobblehead of Ludacris on it.
It was.
Which, did you notice that Jason Statham had a full-size version of that RC car in his garage?
I would like to talk for a moment about how much I hate Jason Statham.
Please,
Oh, please go ahead.
take it away.
The fervor with which you hate Momoa is the intensity with which I hate Statham.
Because of Meg?
Yes. Him being in a movie has never been a draw for me. In fact, it's a I'm going to have to pass on that because I hate him so much.
Can we get her to watch In the Land of the King?
I hate every single movie he's ever been in. I think if I saw him on the street, I would punch him in the face. He has destroyed the Meg. And it's not even his fault. He's just an actor who showed up for a job and did his job. But fuck him, and I hold him responsible.
Have you ever seen the video, a music video from the 90s where Jason Statham's in the background dancing around naked?
No.
What?
I got to put that in this video. I'm clipping it right now.
What?
That's amazing.
Isn't that Christopher Lambert ball scene from Fortress? Like, did you guys ever see this?
Yes. Anyway,
How could
Jason,
you miss that? Right there.
Matt's
There's
entire
his balls.
talking point for the movie.
God, I'm gonna have to find a clip of that now.
He loves talking about people's balls that he's seen.
I've seen Christopher Lambert's balls.
Yeah.
I mean, they were right there.
They were right there.
Yeah, they
in
were.
the movie, guys.
Yeah.
It was real. So check out our review of what was it, Fortress?
Yeah,
Yes.
Fortress.
Yeah, Fortress.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what an incredible movie that was. Anyway,
There can be only one
there could be only one.
child that you have.
Yeah.
Statham is lame, but as a side character, I don't hate him. I just don't want him to be the main character.
He was the main villain for like 2 movies.
I don't
Yeah.
want that either.
He killed. Oh, that's a perfect example of nobody ever dying. He killed one of the main. Was it Hans that
Yeah,
he killed?
he killed Han.
He
yeah.
killed Han.
Han has died twice.
And then
Isn't
Han
Han
came back.
in this one?
Yeah, he's in this one.
He's the
Okay.
Asian guy.
He's
That's what I
just
thought.
sitting at the picnic table, like no one, like he's never died.
No, no, they're getting him back on the dating app.
speak,
Yeah.
everyone. Abuelita wants to speak. I love this family. I am dressed like I'm from Miami. And it was like,
Oh, it's L.A., bro.
what the fuck
So
is this movie
L.A.
about?
That was if that.
It's about
It's
family.
about family, bro.
No, it's not. I feel like Dom has like some weird like past that no one knows about, and like everyone like was like murdered in front of him, and he grew up in a group home.
No. Fast 9 explores his past as a child.
Yeah.
I
Go
don't
watch
think
Fast 9.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't.
I don't think it matters.
No.
I don't even know who the grandma was. I was like, where does she come from?
Abuelita.
She's introduced in 9.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It was so strange.
One of the most disappointing moments in this movie that I really felt like they could have went someplace. I think if Justin Lin had made this movie,
Justin Long?
whatever his name is, was it Justin Lin?
Justin Lin.
Justin Lin. If
I
Justin
want
Lin,
Justin Long to direct it.
sure,
That's way
throw
better.
him in there. Why not?
I don't want that.
No, throw Justin Long in there as his character from Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
That's exactly what I'm talking
yes,
about. That's exactly what I'm talking
All
about.
right, cool, perfect.
I'm gonna direct this movie.
With the deep, yes, with the flu and everything and the gay porn.
Everybody take out your balls.
He's already banged Superman.
Yes.
He could bang Groot. He could bang them all. Captain Marvel just starts banging everybody.
perfect.
Where's Christopher Lambert?
I love his balls. Anyway, what was I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, the most disappointing moment. If Justin Lin had directed this movie, I think this would have been pure comedic gold. But
Yeah.
Han at some point eats an acid-laced muffin,
Yeah.
and he starts tripping, and I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for a freaking ball-tripping episode with a car down some street in
Doesn't
some city.
happen.
And they just forget.
Went away.
He ate it, and then he was like, well, that's weird. And then they just forget that it happened. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
That was most of the movie.
no, bring it back. That would have been so fun.
What you just explained accurately explains every 10 minutes of that movie.
Yes.
Every 10 minutes of that movie, it is like 40 shorts that they just shoved together.
It's because the kid playing with the matchbook cars has never been high, so he's just like, oh, that'd be funny. I
See?
don't know how to explain
Yup.
that though.
Yep.
Right.
There's another
Next scene.
there's another feather in the hat for my theory. That's exactly what happened.
You are spot on with that theory. It's a very decent theory.
Yeah.
If
It's the only thing that makes sense.
if the third part of this ending trilogy isn't a flash,
Wait. This is a part 1 of 3.
Yes.
Oh, fuck that. How? They made this they didn't need to be 2.5 hours. It could have been an hour and a half.
So originally,
It probably would have been better.
Originally, this was supposed to be part 1 of 2, but Vin Diesel was like, no, we're gonna do 3.
it's gonna be 3.
I gotta buy another boat.
It's gonna be 11 and 12, and that's gonna be probably not the end.
And John Cena's still alive. Guaranteed.
I guarantee you, he
Guaranteed.
comes
Oh, for
back.
sure.
Yeah,
He comes
they'll
back.
bring
Yeah.
him back. Yeah.
By the way, he talked that kid into murdering people with his cannon gun.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yep.
Awesome. I love that cannon car.
Yeah, but
I want
the
that.
child did it, and he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, good job, buddy.
yeah, we murdered."
And then he I don't know how these radios are connected. Everybody just has a radio.
Yeah.
Like it's 1995. They're all just like, hey, Dom, what's up?
Everyone has a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, everybody has
so
a
they can
walkie-talkie.
communicate.
And they all
definitely
work.
It's definitely not a radio. It's definitely a walkie-talkie.
Yes,
And
it's a
how
walkie-talkie.
traumatized must this kid be because he
he's
lives
good.
his life. They're like, you know what to do.
He lives
like,
his life a quarter mile at a time.
Seriously,
exactly what I was gonna say.
At the beginning, they're like, it's happening. You know what to do.
Oh my God, yeah. And he doesn't
That's
do
how
anything.
you raise your kids.
But you know what's funny is so like there's a scene where Uncle John Cena, Uncle Peacemaker, and the kid are on a plane, and the kid is having a tough time because as a baby he was kidnapped and thrown around on a plane when his dad was trying to save him from being kidnapped.
Yeah.
And the stewardess who gives Uncle Peacemaker the alcohol, that's Paul Walker's daughter.
Oh, really?
I didn't know that. Good for them. Anyway.
Moving on.
And like he's got to be also traumatized because didn't Cypher murder his mother in front of him?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of mothers of that child,
Okay.
the entire Fast franchise, I was 100% sure Michelle Rodriguez was his actual sister in the thing. So when they start making out and grinding on each other and talking about putting babies in,
No,
I
Mia-
thought the little boy was their kid. And I'm just like, wait, what is happening right now?
Mia
This
is
is
his
the
sister.
weirdest. I don't know who Mia is.
Paul Walker's wife.
Was that the girl on the wall in Brazil?
No, that was the girl that was taking
Long
care of
brown
the
Who was
hair.
the girl on the wall in Brazil?
Okay.
She's the cop.
Let me explain it to you.
Do the
okay?
timeline.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
the family tree.
See, I need my whiteboard.
All right. So you remember the woman who was introducing the Abdullah or
Abuelita.
Abuelita.
Means little grandma.
Okay, that was
Literally what that
Vin Diesel's sister.
The old lady was?
No. The girl who kept saying
The skinny chick.
the skinny
Okay.
chick. So that's Paul Walker's wife
Yes.
and Vin Diesel's sister.
Yes.
It's his, okay.
From the first movie.
And
right?
then
Yes.
and then
Okay,
Let-
so that's his sister. Michelle Rodriguez isn't his sister.
No.
But his
that's
sister
correct.
is in the movie.
Yes.
Just not in this movie very much.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so remember when John Cena first showed up and the agents are trying to kidnap the kid at the
Yeah,
house and
yeah.
he's with his aunt.
Mhm.
His aunt is Vin Diesel's sister.
Yeah, but everyone's family, so I just
Yeah.
figured it's uncles and aunts.
No.
When I
it's his
realized
blood
that
It's all
John,
about family.
when I realized that John Cena was literally Vin Diesel's brother, I'm like, this is the stupidest.
Oh my God.
No, it's terrible. But,
go back and watch
okay, so basically, so that's his sister, and then Letty, who's Michelle Rodriguez, is just a part of Vin Diesel's crew who he had an affair with and got
No,
romantic with.
they were in love.
Yeah, but then like
I'm
at a
in
certain
love with
point, Michelle Rodriguez died.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they brought
Like,
Yeah.
like quote unquote died. And then during that time, Vin Diesel started a relationship with The Rock's partner, who was a Brazilian police officer, got her pregnant, and then when Michelle Rodriguez came back from the dead
With amnesia.
with amnesia,
it's like
Yeah, dude.
One Life to Live.
Once Michelle Rodriguez came back, Vin Diesel's like, I still love her, and so like he left, but he didn't know he had impregnated The Rock's partner until she shows up with the baby, and then she gets murdered, and Vin Diesel has to adopt the baby, and Letty has to.
It's his baby.
Well, yeah, it's his baby, but Letty has to adopt the
Letty
baby,
has to,
and basically they form a new family.
I'm having so much fun right now. I love this franchise.
Okay,
It's so stupid.
So the skinny, hot race car chick from Brazil just happened to be related to the girl
To the
that
baby
he
mama.
knocked up.
Yes.
Yes.
Randomly.
Well, no, it wasn't random. So she's been honing her skills to meet Dom, right? And then the minute Dom sees her, he's like, "Oh, I recognize your sister in you. I knew from the moment," and that's why he chose to say
Because
her
it's all about family.
instead of his buddy
Yeah.
that Jason Momoa planted bombs on. So
Yeah, he let his
That guy's
friend
fine. though.
die.
No, that guy's fine.
He'll come back.
I don't know. That was
I
pretty-
don't even know why they were racing to begin with.
There's no reason for it.
Like, you should just been.
Oh, I know why.
Vin Diesel and Jason Momoa racing.
there was-
I don't know why they needed two extra.
Because there was
people.
way too much bro in this movie. They needed to put some T, some
Sure.
TNA.
Yeah.
There was just too much octane and muscle. They had to, I'm just going to go ahead and say there needed to be a lot more female presence in this movie. Speaking for somebody who does not give a shit about equality or anything, I could have used a lot more girls on the screen. I'm just going to go ahead and say,
Dude, you had Charlize Theron, you had Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, he
Theron.
hates Charlize Theron.
I met her before. That chick's feet are bigger than mine.
Yeah, you had Brie Larson. You had.
I'm 6'2".
I mean, there was a lot of. You had Misandry. You had a lot of women. in there.
Keep rattling it off. What I'm saying is, I needed more TNA. I didn't need a woman.
So you wanted
I
more-
wanted like more bikinis.
You
and
wanted more Rio de Janeiro.
that scene was the only thing that seemed like was Fast and Furious to me.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just some
Well, but-
knockoff James Bond.
But these movies, got
Mission Impossible
PG-13.
bullshit. Mission Impossible bullshit.
You can get away with a lot with PG-13.
Yeah.
I could have used.
I could have used
probably 45 more minutes of Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
racing, pink sheets, the whole deal. Like, give me all of that.
No.
Have,
I don't want that many more.
Have Jason Momoa
Just pepper him in. Michael Bay just peppers in girls in bikinis in the background of every scene of his movies. It's
true.
Every scene. There's just girls in bikinis in the background.
You think this movie would have been better if it was directed by Michael Bay?
Yep.
Oh.
I don't know about that, buddy.
Oh, guaranteed.
I don't know about that.
We would have Transformers in there.
Have
Megan
you
Fox
seen
would have been
Six
in it.
Underground?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
you know
I saw
what? You know
that.
what's funny though?
That's a rough one.
So there are basically like three or four different storylines going throughout this movie.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons why it's so long is because like they have to kind of like wrap up and bring together all these things.
Did they?
No, they
Okay,
they
good.
didn't. But I mean, this
tried.
is the first part of a three-parter. So there's still a lot of stuff left to go. But basically, this movie is all about Jason Momoa's character. Before his Jason Momoa's father dies, the villain from Fast Five, he says, "Don't kill your enemies, make them suffer."
Mm-hmm.
And so Jason Momoa's whole thing is about making Dom suffer by, torturing his family and killing off his family and stuff like that. And so every part of this movie is about like Jason Momoa kind of like playing with Vin Diesel in the sense of like, how much can I make this guy suffer? And so he keeps putting him in positions where he's forced to like make a Sophie's choice as to like who to protect, like who to choose to protect, like what part of
Doesn't
his
seem
family.
to bother him that much, though.
I'll tell you why. Because he's making cars a part of every single torture. If he invited bicycles or hiking or something, I think Vin Diesel would have been much more annoyed about the entire time.
man.
But the
No,
entire time is car related, so he just gets to have fun the whole time.
But that's the thing that he says at the end. You made one mistake. You didn't take my car.
Yes.
That's the whole deal. Yes, that's his fatal flaw. He included cars
Yeah.
in everything.
And my favorite part of every like Fast and Furious movie is when they're in the cars and they're doing stuff in cars. And the more ridiculous that they do things, the more I like it. Like that whole opening scene. Like I remember when we watched Fast Five, and they're pulling that humongous safe full of like gold and money behind two cars.
And it's just like slamming into
Yeah.
businesses.
And it's just like there's no way those two cars would be able to
No.
pull that safe
No,
behind.
no.
Not even a little bit. And then like in this movie, you have basically Dom's car is harpooned by two helicopters, two like attack helicopters.
Say harpooned one more time for me.
Yeah, harpooned. And they're trying to like lift him up to like kind of neutralize him, but somehow his car keeps
It has its own
contact
gravity.
with the road.
Yeah, torque or something.
And then like somehow like he's able to maneuver so that the helicopters crash into each other, and then he starts dragging the corpses of the helicopters behind him.
Flaming wrecking balls.
Yeah,
Loved it.
flaming wrecking ball, and then he starts moving his car so that those things swing around and hit the bad guys' cars.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I mean, come
This is
on.
fantastic.
Exactly. I mean, come on.
Are you not entertained?
I mean, he drives his car out of the back of an airplane, like 30 feet up, just like slams on the ground. Car's perfectly
Mario
fine.
style.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Tires.
Don't worry
his
about-
spine doesn't compress. or
Don't
anything.
worry about how fast the jumbo jet's flying right now. You're gonna land at 180 miles an hour.
Well, do you remember Fast 9 where basically like he like has some type of like rope that's like attached to his car?
Oh, and he harpoons the jungle thing, and they
and
yeah.
Yes.
he drives off
Yeah.
a cliff and he swings around on that
like
thing.
George of the Jungle style, bro.
And doesn't he like? Doesn't I think it's Letty? It's somebody. I think it's Letty jumps from the motorcycle
Yes.
inside the car.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't
in.
mind the ridiculous stunts. What bothers me is it doesn't make any goddamn
It doesn't.
sense.
That's the biggest problem. Okay, so all jokes aside, like I love the ridiculous
action's
stuff.
awesome and all that,
Action's
sure.
just stupid fun.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't
but
have
the
a problem with
movie
that.
is
the problem
awful.
is the story and the setup and the plot. It's literally like, okay, we have a 15-minute segment here and a 15-minute segment here, and they kind of connect. And then like, oh, the story is Jason Momoa is a genius mastermind with unlimited funds. So it doesn't really matter how he does all these things because he just does them.
And for some reason, they had to go like to a zillion different places in this movie.
Oh,
And they just teleport there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's like the next
Remember
day.
when they went to Portugal?
Portugal.
Portugal. My secondary favorite moment, I guess, of all the things that happened was there's no setup for this at all, but there is a little bit of a joke nod to it. Is what did you call John Cena's character?
Uncle Peacemaker.
Uncle Peacemaker. Okay,
Perfect nickname,
He's got a
by the way.
1992 Ford Mustang
5.0
5.0. Right? It's yeah.
with the rag top.
my
down,
brother-in-law-
So your hair
down
can
below.
blow.
My brother-in-law had one of those. Glorious. But he had this like kayak strapped to the top.
No, he didn't.
That
And
was
he's
no
just-
kayak.
Well, listen though, I'm looking at. I'm like, that's the shape of a kayak.
You call that a
Like,
kayak?
He's got a kayak.
This is a kayak.
And there's no mention of it whatsoever. The kid's never like, hey, Uncle Peacemaker, why do you have a kayak on your roof? Nothing says anything. But he's dragging this thing around for 45 minutes out of this movie. He's got it on his shoulder. He's carrying it. I'm like, why is he taking this kayak
One
everywhere?
strap, by the way. Just
One strap.
One little strap.
I mean,
on there.
he's Uncle Peacemaker.
I mean, he's a brick shit house. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So he goes into the plane and he just bag checks this thing, I
Yeah.
guess. It's
Yeah.
fine, whatever.
50 pounds. It's fine.
He just bag checks it and they strap it to the bottom of the plane. And so him and his kid, they sneak down to the bottom of the plane. They're down there and I'm like, oh, there's this kayak. I don't know why. And he's like, check this out, kid. And he unwraps it and it's like a space glider from James Bond. And he puts it all together and he's like, we need fuel. And the kid grabs a bottle of rosé and he's like, will this work? Because a 12-year-old playing with Matchbox cars doesn't know how alcohol works. Okay, and his uncle says, nope, we need Smirnoff. And he's got 3 airline...
Not a sponsor of this
not
movie.
a sponsor. 3 airline-sized bottles of Smirnoff, apparently, throws it into the gas tank, places this thing together, opens a hatch on the bottom of a commercial airline.
No, not a hatch. It is a bomb bay door.
Yeah, on the bottom of a commercial airline.
It's a movie Memphis Belle. just the whole thing opens up.
Drops out, opens the bat wing, and flies, and then turns the ignition on, and those 3 bottles of Smirnoff light off like a rocket, and he goes...
I'll tell you right now, I'll do 3 shots of Smirnoff right in front of you. I ain't flying.
I loved it. I'm like, this is glorious.
Oh, boy.
So my favorite part of this movie was every time John Cena was on screen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his,
Yeah.
whole,
He was fun.
his whole thing about singing Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yes.
That was gold.
Great.
So like every time he was on screen, I was really enjoying this movie.
I will watch anything that he's in.
I genuinely got excited when the home invasion thing started, when they were trying to kidnap the child, and there's
B?
no setup for it at all.
his body
You
just
just see
fly.
a body just go whoom, and I'm like, yes! And then John Cena pops up, and I'm like, da-da-da.
And his name was John Cena.
Give me more.
He body slammed a guy through a floor.
He did?
That whole scene. I mean, he murdered like quasi bad good guys.
Sure.
I don't understand.
They
any of
they
it.
all had masks on,
Yeah.
so they weren't really people.
No,
They were
they're all the
probably
same
robots.
guys. They just transport them to all the different places where they have to get beat up.
They are legit henchmen.
Yeah.
It's just like there's 12 of them, and
they go
just
everywhere.
keep going. You're number 12. Get in there.
I loved it. But that seriously though, I did get excited when that body went flying, and I was like, "Here comes John Cena!" So much fun.
And my biggest criticism of this movie is
Whoa.
the fact that there was no Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah.
Isn't he dead?
They replaced
It's
Kurt Russell
no,
with Brie
you
Larson.
can't be.
Yeah, they replaced Kurt Russell with Brie Larson. And in the last movie, they kind of faked out that like he was dead or missing or whatever. I don't know why Kurt Russell isn't coming back for these movies. Maybe he has a beef with Vin Diesel.
He could be coming back eventually.
He could.
You know, there's going to be 6 more hours of this movie.
See,
Yep.
my theory,
At least.
my theory is that Mr. Nobody's return has something to do with Gal Gadot showing up.
Oh, he's on the nuclear
Submarine.
Is
submarine.
Gal Gadot a good girl?
Yeah.
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 She's part of the
Good
team.
girl. Wait, which team?
So she,
Vin Diesel.
Fast team.
Okay.
So Gal Gadot died in the 6th movie.
She and Han were a thing.
Yeah, and so Han was all
That
broken
doesn't add
up
up.
about her death, and he wanted revenge on Shaw because he blamed Shaw for her death. And so in this movie, when he went to Shaw for help, and they had like that little like fight, that was because there's a lot of history there where basically Shaw killed Han and Han's girlfriend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right, well, that adds
You're
up.
doing great, Tom.
I'm following along. I should have took notes, honestly.
I don't know what else to say. I had less fun watching this movie than I did 9. I think 9 was a better,
Absolutely.
it's a more fun movie.
Yeah, like if people go and check out our review of Fast 9, like we were glowing.
We
about that
loved
movie.
it.
I loved it.
And
I
we
loved
were
it.
gushing all over it.
This movie's not as good. Not because it's not like as ridiculous. It's equally as ridiculous.
It's just not as silly.
It's not as. It doesn't. It's less self-aware.
And
Sometimes.
it's
Yeah.
got Brie Larson in
And
it.
it has Brie Larson. They
You
downgraded from
guys
Kurt Russell
hate
to Brie
her
Larson.
so much.
Oh, she's
Did-
unlikable.
Can you tell me that she's good in this movie?
She's unlikable and everything.
I wouldn't say that she's great
'Cause
in anything,
even-
but the venom that you guys have anytime she is mentioned or does anything, you guys hate her
Remember
so
that-
much.
that red
like
carpet
he
in-
hates Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
and like how
yeah.
I hate Jason
One-
Statham.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think Jason Statham hating Jason. I understand that. I understand that.
Thank
And
you.
I understand why you hate Brie Larson. She is not likable. She's a good-looking girl.
Sure.
But I need more.
She's a pill.
Yeah,
need
yeah.
more.
And
Bill.
speaking of that, so there's a scene in this movie where Charlize Theron tries to break out of the agency black site, and Michelle Rodriguez just happens to be there, because
Oh my God, I
Little
forgot
Miss
about
Little
this.
Miss Nobody, orchestrated this.
Nobody Junior.
Yeah, they have a fight, right? Like Cypher and Letty have a fight because they have like a long history.
It was a
with
good
one
fight.
another. Yeah. That fight was done without the director, like that entire scene, because Louis, all the chaos of the production with Louis Leterrier, I don't know how to pronounce his name, came in late. So like they had to be shooting a bunch of different stuff, and so basically Michelle Rodriguez and Charlize Theron directed themselves in that fight scene.
It was pretty good. I mean, it didn't make any sense because, like, for some reason, the ventilation controls were on her bed,
It was amazing.
and she was just like with one
She
hand.
couldn't even,
going,
you're not even
she didn't
looking.
see- wasn't even seeing- yeah.
Well, Jude was like, "What was with those laser robots?"
Oh, one scene, the laser robot tried to kill somebody, and then it just
Well,
like,
Charlize
went
Theron
away.
programmed it to be on her side
Sure.
for like 4 seconds.
Off her bed, the same control. The same control does the ventilation system and the death robot.
I forgot about that shit. That was the most outrageous scene
Yeah.
because she's just like laying there like, oh, you can't do this? Oh, and just poisonous gas,
Yeah, yeah.
knocks everybody out. And she's like, okay, I have a whole plan to escape Antarctica. She's like,
But I love this. I love the fact she's like, hey, listen, we need to get out of here because those guys are going to wake up in 4 minutes. 3 days later,
yeah.
they're still knocked out, and we completely forgot that there was henchmen.
Next scene is Michelle
took-
Rodriguez climbing a 900-foot shaft with one
It took
leg.
longer to wake up than it took
Yeah.
anyone to travel to Portugal
Yeah.
or Rome.
or
Yeah.
Antarctica.
Yeah.
I love it.
Antarctica.
She goes
Yeah.
up, so Michelle climbs her way up through the ventilation shaft, opens the hatch, and is just like, oh man, I'm in Antarctica. Closes the hatch, goes back down the 900-foot
And
shaft.
Charlize Theron is
She's
like, told you.
so. Here's a snowsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they climb back up
Yeah. To walk out.
to walk away.
That's her plan.
And those guys still don't wake up.
That'll make up.
Beautiful.
Well, they climb out to hitch a ride on a nuclear submarine,
They knew that was going to be
Right.
there.
piloted by Gal Gadot.
Yeah. I hope she's the only one in there. I really do.
hope so. That'd be
It's
amazing.
just her.
Well, it's like Reacher's plane, right? It just flies
It
itself.
flies, yeah, it's all automated.
yeah.
I love
It
it.
probably takes 90 people
She has like a tablet.
to operate.
There's a tablet with everything on it. She's like, oh, we need more speed.
We should probably talk about the cliffhanger ending. On
Sure.
this movie.
Oh, that damn, dude. Glorious scene.
Well, everyone's dead
Sure.
except for the girls.
So basically, all the family members who were coming from London, Tyrese, Ludacris, Missandei, all those guys, Han.
Sandra.
I don't even know her name in the movie.
Nah.
She's always Missandei.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like they're on a plane.
It is known.
and they're flying over the dam to rescue Dom. They're like, "Hey Dom, we're here," and then like Reacher reveals himself to be a double agent bad guy.
I'm a bad guy now.
Yeah.
Now I'm a bad guy.
and he uses a shoulder-mounted rocket to hit the plane,
Glorious.
which actually has pilots, by the way. So the plane then goes behind a mountain, and you hear a crash.
Better yet, where did that plane come from?
London.
No. Where did
Shaw.
the plane? Shaw had that plane.
Yeah, Shaw has.
He has planes?
Yeah, so if you don't know,
I don't know.
So first of all, Helen Mirren is his mother.
Oh, that's right.
I guessed. I guessed. Hell, I remember that one.
Her
Yeah.
name's Queenie.
Of course.
Number two, he is super rich. Like he's stolen billions of dollars worth of money.
All the bad guys are always rich.
Well, that adds up to the homosexual fight club.
But
thing we had going
but he
on.
also
This all adds
he also
up.
has a huge network of a criminal enterprise
Oh.
that gives him money, power, access, all this stuff. So he had a plane, and when he was leaving to go to his mother because she was in danger,
Yeah.
he was like, "You guys can have my plane."
He said that?
Yes, he
Sure.
said that.
Because it's all about family.
So anyway, they're
Family has
flying
planes.
over this dam
So-
in the middle of somewhere, and Jack Reacher blows it up with
It's
a
in
rocket launcher.
Portugal.
It's in Portugal?
Yeah, it's in Portugal,
Oh, cool.
It's a Portuguese dam.
Great.
which is also where the Brazilian, half Samoan, raised in Portugal, psycho Jason Momoa is from.
Right.
Sure.
Sure.
This movie sucks.
So they blow up the plane crashes. None of them are dead, right? Except for the two pilots. Those are the only two deaths.
Two
from that.
pilots are
Yeah,
probably
they're
dead.
Oh, they're dead.
Everybody else is fine. They probably jumped out and
I'm
like,
assuming they all just drove out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. This is my favorite one of my favorite shots in the movie is when Jason Momoa's got Dom and his boy stuck on the dam, and he's got two like explosive trucks on either side, and he's driving them towards them remotely, mind you, with a joystick.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Ha, I've got you now, Dom," and he's like, "You didn't take away my car," and he does a wheelie, which is, for the record, is a thing that Dom's car is known to do.
Yeah, he did it in the very first movie.
Did it in the first movie. So
Yeah.
there's a callback there, and I really appreciated that. Yeah. He does a wheelie off the dam and outruns an explosion of these two trucks that like spills down the side of the dam. And there's a scene where it goes inside the car and it's completely terrible CGI of Dom's like veiny arm holding the steering wheel. And he's just like, yeah. And it's like it goes into the engine and the engine sucks up the NOS and then he outruns the explosion and then jumps off the dam into a rocky bed of water, survives completely unharmed with his child, gets out, and then he looks up and he sees that the dam is now going to explode because there's also bombs on the dam.
The circle bombs. That are everywhere.
And these ones are like the size of cars. Yeah. They're giant.
No explanation.
Doesn't matter.
The entire dam is basically wired to blow.
Right. Yeah.
And how he ended up on the dam?
Just he was driving there because Jason Momoa knew he was going to end up on that road, so he led him to this dam because they had a plan the whole time.
But also, John Cena sacrifices himself in order to allow Dom to get to that point.
Yeah, he'll be back though.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine. He had like 4 roll cages on that thing. I'm sure he's good.
It was engulfed in flame, but I'm sure he's fine.
He had like gel or something.
He had a fire suppression system inside of it. He just
Have you seen Death Proof?
he steps out as
You
if
really gotta be on this side of the car.
Dude, if they get Kurt Russell back for the next one or the third one or whatever,
Stuntman Mike?
he has to be
Oh,
Stuntman
God.
Mike.
God. He gets that car back?
Yes, he gets the car back with the yes. Anyway, so he survives. God, I'm snotting. It's so funny. He survives all of this with his kid, and then the dam blows up, and then that's where the movie ends. And I walked out at that point because I'm not interested in a post-credit scene. I have no idea. The assumption is that Dom is going to die due to the massive amounts of water and debris that are going to come crashing down on him. I'm sure he gets out. There's probably a hatch.
Yeah. I mean, Ludacris, Tyrese, and Missandei just roll up in their cars and
guaranteed.
rescue him.
Sure.
And then they outrun the huge tidal wave.
They roll up on a surfboard.
Oh, riding the wave.
Yes. Also like Kurt Russell.
Yes.
This movie just keeps getting worse. I love it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the end credit scene.
You guys go ahead. I haven't even watched it.
Well, prepare to be amazed. So, so as we know, the character of Hobbs, played by The Rock, left the franchise. I think it was around movie 6, and he left because he was beefing with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, what's the deal between them?
I don't know. Vin Diesel is just like a jerk who has beefs with like a lot of people.
Personally, I think it's all marketing.
Well, anyway, The Rock publicly stated he's like, I'm out of the Fast and Furious franchise. I don't want anything to do with it because I hate Vin Diesel. And so everyone was
Adds up.
Yeah. Everyone was asking him, it's like, are you ever going to come back to the franchise? He's like, no, I'm done with it. Even though like he did like a spinoff, Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. So in the end credit scene, the hotel room where Cypher had like her little operation in LA, agents or some type of law enforcement agency storms it. And they're all like tactical unit guys and they got masks on. They're walking around and looking for something, I guess. They never really explain why they're there. But then one of them branches off, goes into a room and finds, a bunch of TV screens talking about, Hobbs. And then, you hear Jason Momoa on a phone making threats, taunting. And then the guy pulls his mask down and it's Hobbs. It's The Rock. The Rock is returning for the next movie because he's going to be Momoa's next target. And so he's going to inevitably team up with Shaw and the Toretto gang.
The Toretto gang.
And only the combined might of the family will be able to take down.
And some cars.
Yeah. Jason Momoa.
A lot of cars.
But that was the big reveal in the end credit scene is that The Rock is back.
Okay, cool.
The Rock with a gray beard, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, rocking just gray chin hair. Like, what is that all about?
Aging gracefully.
He is.
I think the Black Adam thing took a lot out of him.
It's all that HGH.
Yeah, he turned himself into a creature. Like it was wild looking.
Yeah, no,
he was really effed up looking at that movie. Like really ripped.
Doesn't look human anymore.
No, it was wild.
That's a lot
It's
of
just
drugs.
all veins.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
drugs.
there's a lot of veins. Yeah.
Anyway,
vascular.
so my final thoughts on this movie are: it's trash. It's absolute garbage. But I had so much fun watching it. I think it's less enjoyable than 9. So if you really if you're like us and you really enjoyed 9 because it was like self-aware and kind of goofy, that's not what you're going to get in this one, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping maybe they can kind of turn that around for the other two. We'll see. I personally feel like my money was well spent. If you want to spend $13 going to an IMAX theater and watch this movie, you will be entertained, but turn your brain off. If you have any care in the world about physics and gravity and good plots and characterizations and stuff like that, you're not going to like the movie. But if you just want to see some cool shit on the screen, that's what you're going to get.
What's your rating? We haven't done a rating in a while.
I don't know how to rate this movie because, like, as somebody who likes to talk about movies and judge them and critique them or whatever, not that I'm a movie critic, but it's not a good movie. It's not good.
Yeah.
It's just fun. So if you, I don't know how to judge it. Like a 1 on the good scale and a 7 out of enjoyment, maybe.
It's one of those movies where if you watch it by yourself in a movie theater, you're hating life for
Sure.
But if you're in your living room with 5 of your friends and you're all drinking the entire time, it's pretty good.
Can I use a Jeremy Johns reference? It's a good time if you're drunk. Yeah, now is a party like that. That's my judgment.
You don't need to pay attention to it.
No.
You could sit in a room and make fun of every scene, the entire movie, and then find it much more enjoyable. So
Fair point.
You do not need to go by yourself and enjoy the cinema. It is not going to happen.
No.
I went to the concession twice during the movie. I don't feel
probably
like I
didn't miss
missed anything.
anything.
I don't think there's anything to miss. Well, I mean, there's tons. It just doesn't seem to matter. Nothing matters.
No, nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing really matters.
Come on. Feel it.
Final thoughts there, Tom.
I think I just gave them.
Okay. You good?
It's if you think that you're going to go and watch a well thought out movie that's going to win some awards.
Have you watched the rest of them? Is
No,
my question.
No, I have not. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
At no point did I go, well, I wasn't prepared for this bullshit. This is exactly, I mean, for only seeing previews, and it felt like NASCAR fans love this shit. And if you watch any other sport, you don't understand why anybody watches NASCAR. And I think it's just very down that line. If you love NASCAR, you love Fast and Furious.
Okay.
If you don't understand NASCAR, you will not understand Fast and Furious.
Well, Tom, as someone who went into this movie having never seen any other Fast and Furious movie with no context whatsoever, like, what's your take on the franchise after having seen this one movie?
Oh, God. It is. Honestly, there's way too many people in it.
Yeah.
There was this movie called Silverado. Do you guys ever see Silverado?
Oh, I love Silverado.
Silverado. Okay. The problem with Silverado is there's 30 named actors in the movie, so everybody has to get camera time. So the problem with this stupid shit movie is even Pete Davidson had to get extra camera time because everyone's a name. Everyone's a name, so everyone has to have their little scene. They have to do this little thing. They
Totally
have to
forgot he was in this.
Yeah, well, good. His character was completely pointless.
Yeah.
There was no reason for him to be even in the
you could
movie.
have cut out that entire scene.
Didn't even
and
matter.
It wouldn't have mattered.
So just because there's so many named people in it, I'm guessing probably in like 2 or 3 or 4, it could have been a better movie to write, because now, okay, Rock needs to have at least 30 lines in this movie, and John Cena has to flex twice and punch a hole through a wall. And,
I need a camera for my muscles.
Michelle Rodriguez has to be attractive yet mean. It's just they all have to have these things because they're all such named actors.
Give me more.
It's
of Robert.
Michelle Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez.
Robert Rodriguez?
No.
Ooh, what if Robert Rodriguez directed the next one?
I'd
That
watch
would
it.
probably be better.
I'm watching that. For
I don't.
Sure.
It would be
But
much more low budget.
Give
we know
me
that.
give me everything Michelle Rodriguez.
I love
In a
Michelle
way-
Rodriguez. Oh, I love me some Michelle Rodriguez.
Can we talk?
The way he picks her up is a throwback to the first one.
Oh, that was a really awkward. It looked like he picked up his sister. It was awkward. I'm like, has Vin Diesel ever touched a woman? I've heard he hasn't.
Only in the movies.
Yeah. But no, it's terrible. It sucks. Watch it at home with a group of people who will drink beer and laugh at a movie, and it is fun. It is an action movie 10 stars out of 10 stars as an action movie, as a film, as me trying to understand it, as the 11th or 12th installment of this franchise. I have no clue. It was non-linear. It made no sense at all. They all were clean and well-dressed the entire time and poor and $900,000 cars. I don't get it.
Okay.
And then I found out it's a goddamn part 1 of 3.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that Tom has never seen any of the movies. We all have seen all of the movies, and we all had the same experience when we went.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could walk in and be like, "Yep, that was what I saw."
Yeah, Tom texted me and he's like, I've never seen any of these movies and I have so many questions. And I'm like, I've seen all of them and I have a ton of questions too.
Jude, final thoughts, and I wanted to remind you about the wedding for Dom and his outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Please.
Okay. Final thoughts.
Now I know what I'm wearing when I get married.
I was super excited.
I still have to pick out what I'm getting married in.
Perfect.
I think you know.
Yep.
But you also have to wear a sorting hat. So it's
I was super excited for this movie. Like, I was jazzed the whole day. I was like,
Right?
we're going to see it tonight.
Yeah,
We're going to
she's
see
like
it tonight.
Jason Momoa.
We're going to see it tonight. I think I'm over him, to be honest. But
it was a lot of Momoa.
he's not on my bucket list anymore. I mean, I'd still hit it if I had the chance, but I'm not seeking it anymore.
I'd have sex with Roseanne Barr if I had the chance. That doesn't mean I want to.
Anyway, I think I was more excited than the movie deserved.
Okay.
It was still fun. Sure. It wasn't as good as 9, and I was hoping, like, as much as I enjoyed 9, I wanted this to, like, give me even more, and it just didn't. It fell short. So for me, 1 to 5 stars. It's probably middle of the road. It's like a 3-star movie because it was really enjoyable. God damn it, Tom! I am speaking.
Stunt cock.
It was really enjoyable, but I wanted more, and I was a little bit disappointed, but ultimately I had a good time.
Okay, cool. Wedding outfit. Can we please talk about that?
The wedding outfit I give 5 stars.
Yeah.
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 It was
It's
perfect.
and I don't think, like, it was so quick, but I was like, did he? I don't think it was a tank top. I think he ripped the sleeves off of his wedding outfit.
Oh, I thought it was a white beater.
No, it was an undershirt. So basically at the beginning of this movie, when Dom and Letty are together in their bedroom, there are pictures in their bedroom of their wedding, and she's in a bride outfit with like the
A wedding
veil
dress.
and- yeah.
She looks glorious.
And Dom is in white pants with a wife beater on.
I think he's wearing sunglasses too.
And they're at like a little pagoda where they're getting married with like, you know, the officiant. And he's just there. He's like, you know, sun's out, guns out with his wife beater.
He's
I need a camera
obviously
for my
flexing.
muscles.
Just obviously flexing.
I need a picture of me and my muscles in this movie, or I'm not coming to set.
Yeah. Listen, the amount of times that Vin Diesel was overly flexing around other more jacked actors was hilarious. There's a scene where him and Jack Reacher, and the actor who plays Jack Reacher,
That dude's
I think
hoss.
he is a freaking brick.
Yeah,
like that dude could probably give The Rock a run for his money. He's freaking huge.
That's a big ass dude.
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
I want to know what the buckle on his shirt was for. That's my other question.
It was his gun sleeve.
There was no thing attached.
Yeah, it was there.
Anyway, so
Tom had the answer.
there was a scene.
I thought the same thing.
There's a scene where Jack Reacher captures Dom, and he's like, "All right, Dom, get in the truck," and they both get into this like paddy wagon at the same time.
Don't bother to handcuff him.
No, he
Oh
doesn't
my
handcuff
god,
him.
that was my favorite. He just like puts a leg up on the seat across from him. I'm like, why doesn't he handcuff him?
It doesn't matter. So they're walking in together, and you can obviously see that the Jack Reacher dude is freaking yoked, and Toretto's just going there. And his like veins are all popping out because he's holding his breath. Hilarious.
That's real.
Loved it. Kadish, final thoughts? Give it a rating.
Yeah. So you guys ever see that meme on YouTube where the guy like eats like the chicken sandwich and he's like, my disappointment is immeasurable.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
That's pretty much how I view this movie, where, you know, I had so much fun with Fast 9. And Jude and I did this thing a while back where we sat down, we watched all the Fast and Furious movies back to back.
That was a little tough.
Did your IQ go down?
We marathoned them. I think we hit like 5 in one day. Yeah. It was a little hard by the end.
Yeah, that's a
but,
lot.
But 9 was so good.
Nine's
It
funny,
made
yeah.
it worth it.
And I'd say that the best movies in the franchise are 5, 6, and 7. Those were Justin Lin's films. They had kind of like the through line with like Hobbs and stuff like that. So there are good movies in this series. Fast 8 kind of like took a weird detour. I didn't like it that much, but Fast 9 just was so self-aware and so ridiculous. It was so much fun to watch. And we all walked out of that movie like it's garbage, but it's fun.
So fun.
I felt like this movie wasn't fun. I feel like it was slaction to the nth degree. Like the ridiculousness of 9 was offset by the fact that they knew how ridiculous it was and they were kind of feeding into it. Louis Leterrier's choice to make this more grounded and realistic was completely the wrong choice.
Unsuccessful.
Yeah, because it robbed the campiness from the movie. And these movies need to be campy.
Yeah.
Right? They need to lean into the whole, like, I don't have friends, I have family, like, type thing, you know? Like, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Like, all this stuff that, like, we joke about and meme about from the Fast and Furious, like, needed to be in this movie, and it wasn't.
You know what I think could have saved it, though? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I hope he's in the next one.
Well, he can save any movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, no Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Scott Eastwood disappears after the first, like, 10
That's
minutes
weird.
of the movie.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that.
He's billed really high too, because
Yeah.
they put his name in like the opening thing. I'm like, oh, Scott Eastwood's in this.
Well, he's been in, like, a ton of them, right?
I didn't know that.
like Brie Larson coming into the franchise.
Out of nowhere.
Is this her first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, first one.
Oh.
Yeah, and she just took me out of the movie constantly. Jason Momoa's overacting. Like, I really didn't like his performance in this. And the action, because it was so ridiculous, but there wasn't any like self-awareness involved with it, really got on my nerves. So overall, like, I didn't have any fun watching this
Oh,
movie.
babe.
Yeah. So basically, I got to give it maybe like 1.5, 2 stars out of
Okay.
5.
That's fair.
Because, I mean, out of the entire Fast franchise, this is definitely one of the lesser entries.
Okay. That's fair. That's actually probably the most accurate rating. I kind of agree with everything that you just said, but I had, I guess, a lot more fun than you did because I did enjoy watching the ridiculous stuff.
I had more fun right now.
Yeah. Sitting down and talking about it with 4 friends
But
is
talking
way more
about
fun.
terrible movies is
fun.
better than talking about a good movie.
That's what we do.
Right? Talking
Yeah.
about a terrible movie is way more fun than talking
Yes.
about a good movie every
Yeah.
single time.
Well, I got a double Tito's on the way in.
Perfect.
And then midway through, I went to the concession and I was like, I'll just have a single. And he was like, we'll make it a double.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, great.
He's like, wait, you're seeing Fast 10? We'll make it a double.
Do you want to know my exact thought process before I went and saw this? Because I was going to like have a drink or something else. And I'm like, I want to be dead sober for this because I got to talk about it. I want to be able to take this in, really pay attention. And I'm like, you know what? I should have been drinking the entire
Yeah,
time.
you should have been.
You guys,
Okay,
you guys
my-
should have prepped me better.
My first text message to Tom on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. was, want to get drunk and go see Fast 10 on Saturday? That's the way you have to watch it.
Yeah.
You have to watch it drinking.
Well, I tried to get him to go with us, but he had game tickets. Which,
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
that was,
Oh, man. Go Knights Go, by the way.
Yeah.
Can we throw that in there? It's been 2 awesome games so far.
Yeah?
I went to one of them. It was
I
really
can't wait to
awesome.
go again. I love going to those hockey games. They're awesome.
well, we're in the playoffs now.
That's awesome. Anyway, that's it for Fast 10. I guess if you want to spend $13 to be ridiculously entertained, grab a drink on the way in,
Yeah.
and you
I
might
mean,
be
we're
okay.
all going to go see the next 2.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
Tom's in.
I really want to reiterate, if the internet can do its thing, pass this theory around, I want it to become a thing. I want the last movie, at least the last 15 minutes, to be, oh, this was all a daydream by Dom's kid who's playing with a box of cars. Please make that happen. I would love it.
Considering you're someone who famously hates children in movies, that's quite the
But it's so, it
thing.
fits so perfect,
what
and
if
it
we get-
explains everything.
What if we get like a Lego movie scene where it's like you realize that it's like just like Will Ferrell and his Lego set?
That's,
and
what,
it's like,
that's exactly what I'm, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm referencing.
Now it's fine.
It's like
Yeah.
like the Toy Story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope they get Mark Wahlberg to take up a role in the next 2 movies.
Oh, man.
What if we get the Expendables
You know this guy was an
franchise?
underwear model, right?
Hold on a second. Have they ever been to Vegas in the Fast and Furious movies?
I want to say yes.
I feel like they should
but
have
I
been.
don't know if I can.
I can't remember a
They
single
missed a
scene.
chance to drag race
Dude,
down the strip.
F1 is coming here. How is that not a perfect opportunity for them to come and just film some shit? Like all the sets will be over there. We'll have like a little race scene with the F1 car. Perfect.
I think Vin Diesel's beefing with Vegas.
All right.
On that note.
On that note, folks, thanks for watching the review. Stay tuned. We're going to be back talking about our favorite movies that are coming. We got Indiana Jones 5 coming out pretty soon. We're going to be busy this summer. We're going to be busy this summer.
We're going to be talking
movies.
about Marvel movies in our next episode.
Yes. All right, folks. As always, stay salty. Thank you for letting us entertain you. Tom, say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here talking about movies I do not want to watch, but I do get the opportunity to. So, you know, I love movies. I love the opportunity to talk about them. You can't find me anywhere, so good luck.
They can find you on Facebook.
How do you have a Facebook account?
Because I have people that, look.
Ridiculous.
He's got family.
Listen, I would expect Tom, like Tom's like an anti-social media guy. I would expect you to have like a Minds account or like some bull crap.
You
like
act like I use this stuff. Like, but my Facebook's only to like keep track of like old friends. I would feel like a total dick move. Like, the only people I know. This is like a dick move. I got to keep it. I got to keep it.
You know,
I don't
Facebook-
use it for anything. But
yeah, they're still using your data though. I'll tell you that much.
don't I know it?
All right, Juice, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, guys. It's been a blast, and I loved having Tom in the studio today.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, first time in the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. No more living room stuff.
What a movie.
Wow.
What a movie to pick. Kadish, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people. Thank you for tuning in. You know, our content release schedule got a little bit screwed up because we got robbed. They broke into our studio.
We got robbed!
Yeah. But we're trying to get back on track with these things. So thank you for sticking around and thank you for all your support.
Stay salty, my friends.